I hear her father scream, and he says, "Mama!" And I'm like, what?
I picked her up, I took her upstairs, and I just remember giving her CPR until they came there. And I said, I wouldn't wish that on nobody, to give your grandchild CPR.
She just told me that Jordan had stopped breathing and I needed to come home. He was at the hospital.
I was just like, put her on life support. And they were like, she is on life support. There's nothing we can do. I couldn't believe that. I couldn't believe that.
From January 2009 through December 2013, the Center for Infant and Child Loss received notification from the Office of the Chief Medical Examiner of 441 infant deaths. Two very significant risk factors for sudden and unexpected death in infancy were apparent. 144 of these infants were found in an unsafe sleep position, and 240 of these infants were found in an unsafe sleep environment. The Center supports the American Academy of Pediatrics and other professionals in the promotion of the ABCs of safe infant sleep. Babies should always sleep alone, on their backs, and in a crib, no exceptions. If you follow the ABCs, as well as other advice in this video, you will reduce your child's risk of infant death.
A safe sleep environment would pretty much involve an approved crib, bassinet, playpen, or play yard.
Even at nap time, a baby should never sleep any place other than their crib. I know babies will fall asleep sometimes in some odd places, but it's always best to pick them up and put them in their crib on their back for their own good.
We are very comfortable in this society. We have big, thick mattresses with big, thick comforters and big, thick blankets. These pose a huge hazard for babies. Babies need to be on a very firm mattress. You might think it's uncomfortable, but the baby doesn't think it's uncomfortable, and it's the safest place for your baby. We were very fortunate in this state to have Maryland ban the sale of crib bumpers in 2013. This sends a very strong message to parents that they shouldn't purchase these or use these in the crib.
We started out, I believe, having bumpers in our crib just like everybody else did back in the day because it was pretty and it came as a set. And after everything happened, there was no more bumper. The risk factor of having a child roll over with their face going against the bumper is just more than the prettiness and the frilliness of that bumper.
Smoking in a house is the second leading risk factor for children that die from sudden infant death syndrome. When people smoke, they produce carbon dioxide, which the babies breathe in, which puts them more at risk for this syndrome.
I'm an asthmatic, and that comes from my mother smoking. It's very important to have clear, proper ventilation for children day and night, just 24 hours really.
Many times the infant may be sleeping with a parent and the parent may not be alert while the infant is there. And we've had incidences where the parent may roll over on the infant or accidentally suffocate the infant.
I found her at home in bed. She was in bed with her mom. After the AMBO took her, and then we just waited until we could go up there, and then we went up, and that's when we were told she passed away.
We encourage moms to breastfeed, but the advice we give them is very simple. Have your baby next to you, not in bed with you when you're sleeping.
If the mother is nursing the baby, once that baby is finished, he or she needs to be put back into his own sleep environment.
Pacifiers have been shown in a variety of studies to decrease the risk of SIDS by about 1.5-fold over kids who don't use pacifiers. The theory is that the pacifier is keeping the airway open and preventing the child from rebreathing air. What we want to encourage is pacifier use while asleep, but after breastfeeding has been established.
The most comfortable temperature for an infant, and probably for us, is around 70 degrees.
I would definitely caution the babies don't need to be kept as warm as you might initially think, especially if it's your first child.
If it's a little cooler in the house and you want the baby to be a little bit warmer, we recommend a sleep sack. That'll keep the baby safe and warm and decrease the risk of what can happen with blankets.
Babies should be in a room that has good air movement. Whether it's from a ceiling fan, a portable fan, a dehumidifier, anything to keep the air moving does reduce the risk of the child rebreathing and dying suddenly and unexpectedly.
Each child is different, and just because one has been raised a certain way doesn't mean that the outcome will be the same for the next child.
We've been given information from professionals based on many years of studies. It's best to take them at their word.
Go by what they tell you at the hospital. Don't go by what your parents tell you, or your grandparents tell you. Don't do the old, what worked then doesn't work now.
To keep your baby safest, we recommend that a baby is
Alone.
On their back.
In a crib.
Every time, and no matter who's caring for them.
We at the Center for Infant and Child Loss offer bereavement support after a child dies. As I read the child death reports, I wonder how many of these babies could have survived if the risk factors were eliminated. I implore you to please follow the advice we just gave and help us spread the word. There's nothing more difficult than picking up a phone and calling a family whose baby just died.
Just cherish every moment with that child, because we didn't meet any of the risk factors. We had no idea that this could happen to us, and it did. All of a sudden, we were without him, and it is the worst feeling in the world.
A simple overlook can cost you for the rest of your life. Just safety.
Just always read what they give you, so you don't have to go through the loss of what we went through, because it's hard. It doesn't go away.
Hello, my name is Latoya Bates, and I'm a social worker. I work for the state of Maryland, and I was just reaching out to you at this time. I'm so sorry to hear about your loss. Is this a good time to talk?